So we've got a dream to make really pretty images, and we don't want to spend like too much time doing it, but we want something that feels like wholesome. So I thought I'd break this down into a little chart. The core problem here is like, I want pretty film images, please. The dream from this problem, like breaking it down a bit more, is like there's these different aspects. So I want variation, like I want to be able to pick different stocks. Like I don't just want like Vision 3 250D. I want like to be able to pick between a few, depending on like look and feel we're going for. You know, maybe it's my personal visual identity as a cinematographer, or it's the identity of a project. Like there's a particular stock that really speaks to the vision of that project. So the second one is control. Like whenever I want it, it could look great out the box, but if it doesn't, I want all the little knobs and dials to like play with to get it right. So I want Cine on log, like a scan I get back from the lab. Most print film emulation LUTs and power grades are kind of designed for Cine on log, so that's like something to keep in mind. And then the last part of the dream, I want quick turnaround. I don't want to get tied up on nodes just to get some nice frames. Tech wormholes are cool, but the quicker that we can get things that look and feel right, the better. So now we've got solutions. The first one that's quite popular, and it solves problem number 3 here, quick turnaround, is snap-on codec 2383 with the color space transformed from your camera's color space. The thing with that LUT, you know, it's super popular. You know, when you're starting with Resolve, you go to that LUTs folder and you're like, oh sick, this bad boy, slap him on there. It's just PFE, it's not emulating the negative. So yeah, I don't love that. And the other way is slap on a power grade. This one solves 1 and 2, which is variation and control. There's quite a few power grades out there that you can download to emulate the film stock as well as the print film emulation. I've been using Juan Morella's for a long time. Cool, another option is like just some LUT, you know, and that gets you there, but like unless you're like really needing quick turnaround, like, and the project doesn't have that much requirements in terms of like really nailing color, you're really losing out on a lot of control. So another one that's super popular is like just slapping on the plugin in your NLE. So like, especially NLEs that are less like color heavy, like Premiere and Final Cut, you know, it's kind of like just a single node, you're throwing that bad boy on. And it's cool. Like the only thing I don't like is like you're throwing out like your pipeline. Cool. So the final solution is kind of a combination of like a few of the things to kind of get the most control, but then also have variation and quick turnaround. Using Dehancer for the actual film emulation, and then Juan Morella's 2393 print film emulation, which just, there's something about it. It's just a little tastier. So in terms of like actually like solving the problems, I get variation because there's lots of stocks to pick, and I can kind of push and pull as well as get grain and halation, like all of those things that would come out of like a film camera and a film stock. So number 2 is like it spits out Cine on log. It's awesome. I can kind of play with it afterwards as if it would have come from a film scan. So number 3 is quick turnaround. What's really nice is like you can kind of build up this power grade once, like your pipeline, and then like just work from there. Like you've got Dehancer there ready to go. Cool, so let's work through the pipeline to kind of see how this is beneficial. I always start with a bit of noise reduction just to remove like color noise from the sensor so it doesn't conflict with the like film grain. Set up a bit of like, you know, exposure, a bit of temp and tint just to like match things out here. Same with like just bringing in some saturation, and then any global offset if I need, and then a bit of the final contrast curve. So then you'll see I've set up for the parallel mixer node, the log wheels, and any other little tweaks that I need, they live over here. In this case, haven't used them, but always just keep them set up here in my like power grade so I can throw them on quickly. And then here's where Dehancer comes in. So what's super nice with Dehancer is they've kind of gone and built out like a bunch of camera profiles. And I think it's a little further than what color space transform would give you. So here's a Sony FX6, for example, and we literally have like all of these different, you know, the 2 native ISOs and 2 gamuts that the camera offers. In terms of like film emulations, I think this is where the really cool thing comes in, is you've got like your codec Vision 3s here, but then you've got so many additional options. And I think that's a really cool value proposition here is, you know, we're getting like all these interesting aesthetics to play with. So in terms of like ones I've been playing with, the 250D obviously has been like super cool. But yeah, I've also really enjoyed this Kodak Air Color 4. It's pretty nice. And then with the print settings, I select the Cineon film log output. So this is kind of like a film scan, like it's coming from a film stock. And this is where my Juan Morella 2393 PFE comes in. But what I really like, because it's not like a LUT, it's not getting clamped in any way. You know, it exists within the color space that you're working in, which is quite nice. Yeah, but if you didn't have that, you could also go to the output here and pick the 2383 and get something slightly similar. In terms of film grain, I think that's obviously like a big part of this. You can go down here and play with them. People have different opinions on the amount of grain. I really like the fineness of the 65mm. I find like the 35 is pretty intense. There's also like the bloom and the film damage and the halation. And then looping back to the title of the video. So why does Dehancer empower filmmakers? So I think there's 2 reasons. The first reason is obviously like sick color, very fast, and that's awesome. And then the second is quite interesting in that they seem to be targeting like a lot of smaller YouTube channels to create videos about Dehancer, kind of like me. And like I don't post a lot. And I think that's so cool. Like they're kind of like, cool, here's a license and here's an affiliate code and make a vid. And they definitely don't want us to say anything we don't believe in. It's definitely our own opinions, not theirs. So I think that's really cool. Cool, and then finally, Dehancer let me know about the app. It's pretty nice in terms of what it gives you, which seems to be very similar to the core of the Dehancer plugin. It gives you basically all of the different inputs in terms of like cameras and color spaces, as well as obviously like the Apple iPhone log, which is quite nice. So you can go and like kind of on your device get the film looks for photos and videos. Obviously, I would say that like if you're on, you know, not a super powerful iPhone, it's kind of slow. So video exports are slow, like playback's kind of slow. But if you're super hyped on getting like quick turnaround footage, like if you've got a way to kind of take your camera files and transfer them directly to your device, you could get away with using it for like small social media posts where you maybe don't have like a laptop with you or something. Or if you're filming, you know, I think this is probably the use case they're going for. If you're filming like log on like an iPhone 15 Pro, you know, you could get away with it as well. And I imagine like the iPhone 15 Pro's got a bit more juice, so you'll be able to get those exports a little quicker and potentially real-time playback. I haven't been able to play with it on a more powerful device, but I'm assuming it's probably a bit better. But yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Like it's really sick that it seems that you have kind of all the same power as the OFX plugin, but in a iOS app. Thanks for watching. You can take a look at the promo code they sent down below, TomRad10. And yeah, have a good day.